This time on Whatever We Want, we go over Guardians of the Galaxy.
We're joined by a very special guest, Pat. Welcome.
Hi, I'm Pat.
We are talking about Rocket and Groot, specifically their visual effects and what it was like having two main characters as fully CG. We are also talking about the improv between Chris Pratt and James Gunn that led to a lot of your favorite moments. That and more. Time codes in the description and everything. Feel free to jump ahead. Thank you. Enjoy the show. Ready?
Yep.
Daniel, are you ready?
1 second.
He's always eating.
Welcome to PreBanter. I'm keeping that in, baby. What are you eating today, Daniel?
Meatball sub.
All right, well, while Daniel's chewing, I would like to introduce our special guest. We've got the one, the only, Pat. Pat, do you want to give your last name?
Sure, McCall.
Pat McCall. Thank you for joining us.
It's Irish. Thanks for having me.
Of course, Pat.
It's always great to be called upon to talk about this movie.
Yeah. What are we talking about this week, Pat?
We're going to be talking about James Gunn's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Pat is a resident expert on the film.
Yeah, 2014, PG-13, action sci-fi, 2 hours, 5 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
I'm just reading the Google page.
I thought you knew it off the top of your head.
He's so knowledgeable. Oh my
Oh
goodness.
god, what if?
Wow.
No, it definitely is my favorite Marvel movie, hands down.
Cool.
Whenever it came out, I saw it 6 times in theaters.
Oh my gosh.
Holy guacamole.
Before we get too much into it, let me do the little jingle intro thing. That's enough pre-banter. All right, ready?
Go for it.
Yep, hit me with it.
You may want us to talk about this or that, but we don't care. We're gonna talk about whatever we want.
Blah.
All right, welcome back to Whatever We Want, the podcast where we, Jake, Daniel, and sometimes special guests like Pat,
Hello.
devilishly handsome gentlemen, talk about movies, giving behind-the-scenes insights, all the goodies, all that stuff. There's time codes in the description. I think I mentioned that before. Before we jump into it, anyone want to talk about anything?
Well, for the pre-banter, I thought Pat was actually going to make a joke by, like, when he started off James Gunn's, and I thought he was going to be like Suicide Squad, you know, because he's now doing Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
The Suicide Squad.
Yeah, it's these. You know, like you told me a tidbit about that, right?
Oh, that's right.
How they got the name, Pat.
Oh yeah, no, James Gunn pitched the name The Suicide Squad to Warner Brothers, and they were like, love it. Like, he was kidding.
It was a joke.
He was like, how about we do The Suicide Squad? And the Warner Brothers executives were like, yes, perfect, love it, let's go with it.
That's amazing. Dude, James Gunn has had quite a history. Like, he directed Guardians 1 and then 2, and they're such, like, well-received Marvel movies. But before that, didn't he write the screenplays for the live-action Scooby-Doo movies?
Yep. Oh yeah, he did that.
He did?
Those were, like, fever dreams, those movies.
Wasn't Slither very popular?
Yeah, Slither was also very popular. There's actually, all right, this is a little jumping ahead, but in the collector's room,
I know, I was about to say too.
in the collector's room, there's a Slither like thing in the background of one of the shots.
One of the slugs. I was going to say that too, actually.
Yeah. But then, you know, James Gunn had some tweet controversies about some stuff in the past, and he lost Guardians 3. People thought he was going to be, like, blacklisted on Hollywood. And then, like, I don't know exactly how it came about, but he got it back, and he also got the Suicide Squad, or the Suicide Squad, whatever.
Yeah.
So, like, he went from having no movies to 2, like, major blockbusters. So,
Well, because everyone was so pissed about it, and even the people who normally would be pissed about it were not at all about,
like yeah.
I hate to, like, point fingers, but if I'm remembering properly, it was, like, a very, very, very radical right-wing conservative group was, like, offended by those tweets. Like, only, like, 6 people. And then even, like, conservatives came out and were like, no, we're not offended by this. Ben Shapiro, Alex Jones, they were like, no, it's fine, we don't care. And then, like, Dave Bautista was, like, threatening to walk out or something.
Yeah,
So
Dave Bautista, well, it's just even watching behind the scenes stuff on this, they, like, formed such a family on this. And, like, James Gunn seems to be, hold on, let me do the sound clip really quick. All right, ARoSW sound clip.
Did you ever see Return of the Jedi?
All right, so let me get back to it. So James Gunn, like, when he works in a movie, it seems like he, like, forms, like, a family, and this was, like, no exception. Like, he seems to genuinely love the people he worked on this film with, and, like, he just surrounds himself with great people, which creates a great collaborative environment, which is why this film, I think, ended up,
Like, working so well?
yeah, working so well.
have you seen the panel for the Suicide Squad from DC Fandom?
I have not.
No.
They all got, like, on a Zoom call together, him and all of the members of the cast, and, like, they played, like, a trivia game, and you could just tell that, like, throughout this movie, they all were like, wow, like, this is,
Yeah,
like, they are all close now.
that's so cool.
After this movie. And I think even Peter Capaldi, who plays the Thinker, commented on that. He's like, I've been on so many things. I've been on Doctor Who. I've been on big projects, but, like, nothing compares to this movie.
Yeah.
Huh.
And it's like, that's just the environment James Gunn creates.
That's so cool. He and we'll go through, but I have so many notes written down that when I was listening to the director's commentary, James Gunn said, oh yeah, and that's my friend from this film, and then oh yeah, this is one of my best friends from home, and he just brings people that he loves being around to work with him. So
it's what's gonna happen in Guardians 3 without Michael Rooker? Oh, spoiler.
Oh yeah. But yeah, we've got Guardians of the Galaxy, like you said, 2014.
Yep.
The budget was estimated around 170 to 200 million, but they actually went over. It was actually officially released that it ended up being $232 million, but it ended up grossing $773 million, which was actually only the third highest grossing film of that year. The top was Transformers: Age of Extinction.
Sadly.
Somehow.
Yeah.
And then after that was one of the Hobbit movies.
Sorry, I didn't mean to snicker at that, but come on. I mean,
you also got to think about it at the time, right? Yes, it was a Marvel title, but at the same time,
It was so unknown.
Guardians was it was new to people that weren't in the comics.
That was something I was going to say, is that whenever I saw Guardians, I fell so in love with it. That this is kind of the movie that solidified, I'm on board with this Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yeah.
This is the movie that did that for me.
That's so cool. It feels like it shouldn't work, but it works so well. It's just
Oh, yeah.
bizarre. So we start out with the Sony Walkman, and we get the music. First taste of music. And Pat, you were going to say something about the music, but before, I want to say that the music is something that I think works very well. The late 70s, early 80s music that they have throughout the entire film. Because this is such a out there movie, the music served as a way to ground it back to earth, and I think that it did a great job doing that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely. So my thing with the music in this is Jake and I talked briefly before we started recording about it, and he said he's been listening to the soundtrack the whole time, the Awesome Mix Volume 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's stuck in my head.
And I'm in a same boat where instead of listening to the soundtrack, the Awesome Mix, I've been listening to the score.
Yeah.
Because I think the score is written by Tyler Bates is his name.
Yep.
Yeah, Tyler Bates. And it's so amazing. I don't really know quite how to describe it, but we'll get to it later whenever we get to the climax of the movie. But I just remember sitting in the theater, just jaw agape, listening to the main melody, or I guess the main theme of the entire movie.
Yeah.
And just being blown away by what I was witnessing.
The main theme actually wasn't supposed to be the main theme. James Gunn said that Tyler Bates was working on something else, and that was a little riff in it, and he was like, that's it, that's the main theme. And so he kind of upped it and made it fuller so it could actually be a main theme, and that's what they went with. They were actually having trouble nailing down the main theme.
Yeah, the dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. That sticks in my head. That lives rent free in my brain.
Yeah. But yeah, the Walkman's pretty cool. I feel like this could have potentially helped, because it was a Sony Walkman. This could have potentially helped with the Marvel
Sony deal?
the Spider-Man negotiations.
Hey, we'll include the Walkman
I don't know.
here.
Could that have potentially helped?
What if they got the rights to Spider-Man just because they put a Sony Walkman in Guardians of the Galaxy?
Well, actually, Walkman's sales spiked at the release of this movie.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I went to buy one.
I didn't buy one. I had one, and I went as Star-Lord for Halloween either last year or 2 years ago. I forget what it was.
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting that Chris Pratt plays Star-Lord, as some people may know. He said his inspiration for Star-Lord was Han Solo, a mix of Han Solo and Marty McFly. And I'm going as Marty McFly this year for Halloween, thanks to Daniel.
Jake, God damn it, I'm going as Marty McFly.
Oh, really? Well, I said it first, so therefore I
have the costume. It's in my closet right now.
Guys,
Me too.
listen. You both need to do it. You both need to do it. Okay, but it's two different Martys.
We're in two different places.
In the same timeline. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. It's like Back to the Future too.
Wait, I could walk out the door, and then you're hiding in the closet, and you come out, and I just time travel back or something.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah, you guys need to go to parties like that. Jake goes over to a table or something like that, just sits there, does some motion, then walks away, and then Pat comes up and then does it.
Oh God, I'm on stage playing Johnny Be Good, and Jake's knocking out Biff's goons with sandbags.
That's pretty funny.
Before we get off the music, because we did kind of tangent there, back to the tank.
Back to the tank.
I really love not only of course the era of music is great, but also how poetic the selections are throughout. Did you guys even notice little hints and tidbits?
Oh, yeah.
From the specific music selections from each point?
Yeah, I mean some of it was spot on. Fooled around and fell in love. Literally when they're falling in love.
Yeah, exactly. But there's even more for the first one that we hear is "I'm Not in Love," right? It's Peter losing his connection with his mom because she's now passing, and he's trying to control his emotions here.
Oh yeah.
It's also a really rough origin.
Yeah, it is a super rough origin.
Loses his mom, then walks outside, gets abducted by aliens. Like,
Yeah.
what?
They're gonna eat you, boy.
Like, step aside, Uncle Ben.
Yeah, seriously.
Peter Parker lost a relative. Star-Lord lost a relative and got abducted by aliens. No, but I remember reading that James Gunn like actually had to cut many songs that he had planned for this movie because they were just too expensive.
He had so many songs.
Yeah.
He has a list of 500 songs by his computer that are like Peter's mom, like Quill's mom's songs that he think would fit with her. And then what he does before he even writes the script, when he's writing the treatment, he pairs songs with that. So he knows the songs before he's even writing the script, which is actually like very like unconventional. They actually like wrote the score before they wrote the script as well.
Wow.
Or sorry, before they were doing production. So what they would do actually, they would play the music, either the song like the popular, so like the pop song, or part of the score that was going along with that scene while they were on set, so that the actors could get in the mood. And they said that like that actually really helped their performances.
Dude,
Oh, I don't doubt it. Yeah.
Star-Lord hearing like his theme going on as he's breaking out of jail, just punching people.
That's gotta feel so good.
Oh hell yeah.
Right?
No, I remember reading like the one that I read and like that was actually like quoted was Three Dogs Night's never been to Spain. He was like, oh yeah, I really want this one, and then he looked at how much it cost to get the rights, and the price was so much that he just stopped considering it entirely. He was like, nope,
Yeah.
no.
I wonder if that's maybe why the budget was like $30 million over what they said, because they had to get all the music.
All the rights, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, they got some big names in there: Marvin Gaye, David Bowie,
yeah.
The Jackson
Yeah.
5. Yeah.
So back to the scene, just because we gotta move along a little bit. The grandfather, his name is Greg Henry, and he's also another person that's in all of James Gunn's films. So I thought it was kind of interesting. The mom has the brain tumor, which we later, spoilers in Guardians 2, find out that Ego planted.
Which is always great, you know. We love marital killing.
It pained me to put that tumor in her head.
I love that shot, like the dolly zoom.
Oh, I love dolly zooms. I will bend over for dolly zooms.
Oh yeah, Pat's also a film major, so like
Yeah, hi there.
he's gonna know.
Film major Pat here.
Yeah, but actually the mom is played by Laura, I think her name's Haddock, or I don't know. But she had a small role in Captain America. She was a fan that wanted his autograph.
Yes, he was. And then
Yeah, no, I remember seeing
Yeah,
that.
so I don't know. Maybe it's a relative, or maybe it's the same person. I don't know. If it's the same person, she's aged phenomenally.
Yeah, holy moly.
also, we kind of got like a little tidbit here, like when she was on her deathbed, she was like talking about his dad, and like she called him an angel, as that he was made of starlight,
Yeah.
or like stardust, something like that.
Yeah.
Stardust. That's me. It's from Rogue One.
Jin. But no, like it just alludes to like how later on when we see Ego again in Guardians 2, how like you see his brain is just like one giant glowing thing.
Yes, an angel. Exactly like she
Yeah.
said.
It's an angel.
It's so great to see how like well they set up the second movie in the first
Yeah.
movie. Like they did a phenomenal job of that.
Yeah, but there's one last thing I have to say about the doctor. Gunn like named the doctor, and you can see it in the credits. It's Dr. Fitzgibbon, because he said that in every single one of his films, it has a Fitzgibbon in it after his one friend. So he had to work it in here somehow, and that's how he did it.
I feel like that would have worked better for like an alien name, but at the same time being a Dr. Fitzgibbon, it works.
That's kind of
Yeah.
like this streamer I watched, Germa985. His one friend, I guess, is like somebody at Hollywood or works at IMDb.
Oh, yeah?
And he'll put Germa into movie pages on IMDb. And even though like he's credited in Ant-Man and the Wasp as the Slim Jim guy, and the Slim Jim guy isn't in Ant-Man and the Wasp, but it's on IMDb.
That's so funny.
Like, it's that kind of stuff. Oh, it's hilarious, yeah.
Could you like lie on your resume? They'll be like, look, check IMDb. I'm in all these movies.
Let me look it up while we keep going
All
forward.
right, we'll keep going. So next, he gets abducted.
Then we get 26 years later.
We get the Marvel logo.
Yep.
The logo wasn't supposed to go there. It was supposed to just cut
Really?
to 26 years later. But in test audiences, they said that was way too jarring. People were like, what just happened? So it was actually Feige's idea to put the logo there.
I think it works the way that they broke it up. I mean, it makes
Yeah.
sense because then there was a time jump. You know, where were they going to put it if they didn't put it there though?
I don't know. I think it was going to be later, like where the Guardians of the Galaxy, or like after. I don't know. I literally don't know.
That was actually kind of
I
surreal.
thought they probably would have done it earlier.
Maybe.
That was surreal for me seeing the old logo.
The Guardians of the Galaxy or the Marvel?
No, the Marvel logo. Seeing the old one
Oh.
without seeing
I didn't even notice.
Thor and Black Panther and everything on it.
Yeah.
That was just weird to me because I haven't seen an old Marvel movie in years.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah. Sorry, well, we've been watching them in order, so like I was used to it. I was like, what do you mean? Like the old
Yeah, like
logo?
Jake and I are in phase. We're like, do you mean? Yeah.
Like this was like the second logo. Like there's been three I think there's in the MCU there's like 3 Marvel logos they've done, and this is like the second iteration. So
Yep.
So I was like, what do you mean? This is the newer one. But yeah. So yeah, 26 years later, Morag. All right, just this shot of space before they get to the planet. Like I love how much they fleshed out space in this movie.
As an environmental artist, I have to say I agree, and I'm thanking you for appreciating the work of others.
Yeah.
Because they can't thank you right now, so I'll thank you for them.
Well, remember we were talking in Avengers when they like go to that like Thanos's like little rock and he talks to 2 Thumbs or 4 Thumbs McGee or whatever.
Yeah.
That set it felt like a set, and I feel like they went back to like the same place in this movie, but like it feels like space. Like space just feels so good, and the way they try to do it, they tried to do contrast. You can really see it on the planet's surface of Morag, but they tried to have like these dark, desolate like planets, like this rainy planet, but contrast that with beautiful, bright skies in the back.
Yep.
Like the pink, and I feel like that the colors in this so good.
Dude, doing all the particle effects and like nebula-like formations to like simulate like gaseous like colors and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but for me, I just love seeing that. Just like in general, whether it be like real, when you see like getting reference from actual astronomical images, or whether it's simulated like this, it just looks so majestic and dynamic.
Yeah.
And like you said, it works very well to create that contrast. So yeah.
Gunn actually, so he almost didn't take this job. He had a meeting with the guys at Marvel, and they kind of pitched Guardians of the Galaxy. He was like, okay, good luck with this project. This isn't going to go well. And then he was driving home, and on the way home, he just like had like a flash of inspiration and like just visually like saw what he could do with it, with like the stuff we're talking about. And he was like, oh my gosh, like I have to be the one to make this movie. So then he like called them, and the rest is history.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Because I feel like this is like James Gunn's magnum opus, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you look it up, Pat?
It's crazy.
So they fixed the IMDb. He's not credited anymore. But I looked on his Reddit page. He was also credited in like the Adult Swim Too Many Cooks skit.
Oh my gosh.
But he does have a wiki page on the MCU wiki. Jeremy Harrington's his name.
That's hilarious.
It says he plays the Slim Jim guy in Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Oh my gosh.
It's so funny.
Oh, jeez.
But yeah, so we get to Pratt on the surface. We get like the score like building, very ominous. James Gunn actually did not want to meet with Chris Pratt at first.
Yeah.
So Seraphin does all the casting, like the Seraphin casting company does all the casting for Marvel, and she kept saying like, you need to see Chris Pratt, and he was like the chubby guy from Parks and Rec. So he finally got a meeting with Pratt, and then 20 seconds into his audition, James Gunn knew like he has to be Star-Lord, and this was before he lost all that weight.
Oh yeah.
Then Pratt asked for like a few months, and he lost I think like 60 or 70 pounds or something like that.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Yeah.
And then after this movie, he gained it all back for Parks and Rec's final season.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And then he lost it all again for Guardians 2.
Wow.
Did he also have to lose it again for Jurassic World or something like that? I forget if he like just stayed lean or if he was just like. I feel like it's a lot, you know, just a lot on the body.
It's a lot for the human body.
Yeah.
But yeah, as Pratt's like walking up and using that like space technology scanner thing, the dog that he sees, that's James Gunn's dog.
I was gonna bring that up. I was like, oh my
Oh, really?
god, Space Dog. I didn't know it was James Gunn's, but I was like,
Yeah,
Space
it's-
Dog.
Really?
The dog's name is Dr. Wesley Von Spears. That's James Gunn's dog's name.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, it's incredible.
The second day that they were filming, just speaking of like the weight loss and everything, was Chris Pratt's birthday, and like the crew brought him out like a cake, or what he thought was a cake, and they unveiled it, and it was just vegetables spelling out happy birthday. And then Gunn was like, what are we making him do? Is this worth it? So what is everyone's thoughts on the Walkman working after 26 years?
Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, I can assume that maybe it stopped working and he just found some alien tech to fix it, but
Right.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I mean, you have like a nanotech helmet. You could probably just do like some nano
Yeah.
reconstruction, you know?
I do love the shift in tone though when he does put the Walkman on and just like starts singing.
oh yeah.
And I also love how we come back to it in Endgame. Like that's fun.
No, I can remember my first time in the theater. As soon as like the title card came up saying Guardians of the Galaxy, I was like hysterically laughing.
Yeah.
Because it was just such a quick shift in tone.
Yeah, so then Quill goes on and like sings and gets to the vault, grabs that orb thing, and then Korath shows up. I called him Baldy McCree-Man because he's another bald Marvel villain.
Well, is it bald or thinning? Because he still has like the things on the side.
I think that was like tech on his side.
Yeah, that's just robot stuff.
Yeah.
I thought there was still like hair tufts around it though, or am I just being dumb?
I'm gonna look it up now.
Baldy McCree-Man. I don't care. He's also in Captain Marvel, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Yeah, he is.
Before he goes all rogue, I guess.
I forgot the character's name and I went to search bald guy Guardians of the Galaxy and I forgot Drax Drax is bald.
Yeah.
The little hair tufts. I don't see any hair tufts.
I think I'm just an idiot.
Oh yeah, he's definitely bald.
Oh no, I was thinking of like his freaking.
Oh, his beard.
Yeah, I don't know why I was thinking of that.
His little goatee.
Yeah,
He's still bald. You can have a beard.
yeah, he's totally bald. He's totally bald.
Yeah. Is Ronan bald?
Technically, yeah.
Oh, we got another Baldy Bluey? I don't know.
Baldy McBluey.
Yeah, so Star-Lord gets the orb. There's actually apparently a very tough scene to shoot, the first dialogue scene when they're talking before they fight, because everyone's still getting used to their characters and kind of like this crazy world.
Oh yeah. And then he pulls out the Ninja Turtle line.
Yeah.
That's when I knew. That's when I knew this was going to be a good movie.
Yeah. I also really like, what am I trying to say? I feel like Star-Lord is a very capable fighter. Like, he holds his own a lot. He's just clumsy.
Oh, yeah.
Which I think is really funny. Like, even in Infinity War, he, like, takes down Iron Man and Spider-Man for a brief second.
Yeah.
On his own.
You know, he definitely knows how to be tactful and skillful. I mean, we see all throughout different instances, not only in this movie, but in every movie he's in. But like you said, like, he's also an idiot.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's a nice comical balance there.
Well, I feel like Pratt really got the character. Like, he didn't do much research based on the comics, but he said, like, once he saw the script, like, basically, you got to think, like, so based on his backstory, Star-Lord is this, like, if you're abducted when you're 9, Star-Lord was this character that 9-year-old Quill wanted to grow up to be, based on all of the pop culture references that, like, he keeps making and that he's seen when he was a kid. So he literally, because, like, he's just on his own, he, like, creates and becomes this character, is trying to become this hero that, like, his child within him imagined or, like, always wanted to be. And he's kind of also stuck in that, like, childlike state a little bit, just because like, he never kind of moved past the fact that he didn't take his mom's hand at the beginning.
Yeah.
Trauma.
Oh, he said drama. I was like, what?
I thought you did too. I was
like, with a T, trauma, because he is experiencing the feels.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, so those like faceless Sakaran voices, the bad guys.
Yep.
Those were voiced by James Gunn and his assistant. They did the voices for that. Also, they're Sakaran soldiers, he confirmed, which is like, this is how many years? Like 3 years before Ragnarok. So that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember looking up the cast and saw James Gunn played maskless Sakaran, and I
Yeah.
was like, what?
Yeah. He also did at the very end the mocap for Baby Groot when he was dancing.
Oh, really? I didn't know he did the mocap.
Yeah.
Wow, somebody doing mocap that isn't Andy Serkis?
Yeah, what? Who? What? This isn't real. So yeah, so he gets back to the ship.
Well, first of all, where did that cannon come from? Like, where did they whip it out from, you know?
I was thinking the same thing.
Oh, I have no
He
idea.
literally says like 2 words to him, and then there's just like, they start building a cannon.
It's like, what?
Also, like, his gun blasts a hole in the wall. So, like, why can't he just shoot it with his own, like, hand
gun. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Like, I feel like that would do some damage.
Yeah.
But no, they gotta get the cannon. Also, I feel bad for Barit, the chick, the pink lady.
Dude, she gets freaking whiplash like crazy.
Oh yeah.
She's actually wearing the shirt that Quill was abducted in, I noticed.
Really?
Yeah, like the one he was abducted when he was 9 or 8 or 9 or whatever. Like, I noticed, I was like, what the heck? Like,
How did that fit her?
I mean, I don't know, women like small shirts.
It was a tighter fit.
Women
Yeah.
do wear smaller shirts, but
Daniel's remembering fondly. It was a very tight
No.
fit. Barit.
No, I'm trying to remember.
Oh, now you're struggling to remember.
Yeah. To be fair, I do know girls who have shirts that like they still fit since the 4th
Yeah.
grade. So I take that back.
I thought you were going to say that they like.
That they stole from 9-year-old children.
Yeah.
It's me. I'm the woman who doesn't. No, I'm just kidding.
They're wearing that like my sister is a monkey shirt, or like just one more level video game shirts that you see in Walmart.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. All right, so then we get the first appearance of Yondu.
Yondu, Michael Rooker, who is also in all of James Gunn's films.
Yep.
He wrote the role of Yondu for Rooker.
Oh yeah.
I feel like he also just fit the role well.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I haven't really had much knowledge of Guardians from the comics.
Knowledge.
I know that the original Guardians, like, this is a total.
Yondu's a teammate with them, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. I like how they allude to that in the second one, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure how much his character personality changed from film to comics. Do you know anything about that?
I have no idea.
I have no idea. 'Cause that's kind of something I was going to touch on later about how they wanted this movie to succeed, and even though the comics were so like lesser known,
Right.
they tried everything to promote the movie, and that's actually going to get into a story later whenever we get to Drax.
Well, that's what Gunn said, that he felt like he had a lot of freedom, because Marvel said he didn't really have to base it on anything. Like, obviously, like, a little bit the comics, but, like, they gave him a lot of freedom, because not a lot of people know Guardians storylines, they didn't have to worry too much about, like, upsetting crazy fans or anything.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Imagine being the comic writer for Guardians of the Galaxy and having it all rewritten just because James Gunn had a smash hit.
Yeah. Yeah, that kind of... Oh, well.
Poor guy. Well, it's an entertaining story, so.
Yeah, we get a lot of exposition in this scene, this phone call between Yondu and Quill, and I feel like this movie does exposition well. Sometimes it is a little heavy-handed, but I feel like it needs to be just because this film is literally in space and is so out there. Haha, get it? Out there.
Outer space. I like space.
Yeah, but they make it fun, so I can't complain.
Yeah.
Also, I mean, I'm sure you guys know this, but people don't know the like Mohawk sidekick to Yondu is Sean Gunn, which is James Gunn's brother. He also did the on-set mocap, or like not mocap, but like green reference for Rocket.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I knew that.
There's a hilarious behind-the-scenes shot of Drax petting him, like at the end when he's comforting him over Groot's death.
I remember that.
And also how Sean Gunn is also in all of James Gunn's movies.
Yeah.
He's Weasel in the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Weasel, and then he's also in
Is he in
Gossip Girl or something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never seen Gossip Girl, so I
Liz is-
can't really confirm.
What?
Is it Gossip Girl?
Did James Gunn direct Gossip Girl?
No. Sean Gunn was in. It was in like some old. Hold on, is it Gossip Girl or is it something else? I don't think it's Gossip Girl. It's something girl, and it's like an
Gilmore Girls.
no. Wait, maybe.
I think Sean Gunn was
It is Gilmore Girls.
not even alive then.
See?
Sean
No, like
Gunn.
it's the
Yeah, that's right.
I'd
It's
like
Gilmore. Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking Golden Girls with Betty White.
yeah. No, you're thinking
That's what I was thinking too. There's too many G girls.
it's not the
you know?
girl. Why is that? That's so weird. That's the next. After we finish Marvel, we're doing all the GG girl things.
At the end, we'll just be like GG.
All the G girls, Gossip Girl, Gilmore Girls, Golden Girls.
Yeah, but then we'll be GG. That's the end of the podcast. Yeah. Yeah, all of the Ravengers are like James Gunn's friends also.
Oh, absolutely. If I ever become like a big director, you bet I'm putting my friends in as extras. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that's what I said. That'd be so fun.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so then we cut to the Kree warship. I think it's like the Dark Aster or something it's called.
Yeah, Dark Aster. We also get a nice little big ink bath. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like- I was trying to
With
think of what to
Ronan.
call it. I was like, it's like a giant
Balde McBlue.
black like liquid area, and he just
I thought it was
he's just-
blood. Or is it not?
Is it blood?
They bathe him in something, and then the black liquid that goes on the floor. I'm pretty sure that's the blood of the Nova Corps
the guy that
Xandarian
guy. The guy that he like whack-a-moles.
I guess that makes
He
sense.
really just goes bonk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made a note there. I was like, homie's head goes squish.
I made a note how whenever I was watching it, I had to pause it to look it up again. But Ronan's very much like the Just as the Founding Fathers Intended copy pasta. Have you guys ever heard that one?
I have not.
No.
It's basically a guy on a gun control, but he takes it super literally, being like, this is the way of the people, and
my
we have
gosh.
to do just as the founding fathers intended. Do you mind if I read it? It'll take like 30 seconds.
Okay.
Right.
This is the way.
Own a musket for home defense, since that's what the founding fathers intended. 4 ruffians break into my house. What the devil? As I grab my powdered wig and Kentucky rifle. Blow a golf ball-sized hole through the first man. He's dead on the spot. Draw my pistol on the second man. Miss him entirely because it's smooth bore and nails the neighbor's dog.
Oh my gosh.
I have to resort to the cannon mounted at the top of the stairs, loaded with grape shot. Tally ho, lads. The grape shot shreds 2 men in the blast. The sound and extra shrapnel set off car alarms. Fix bayonet and charge the last terrified rapscallion. He bleeds out waiting on the police to arrive, since triangular bayonet wounds are impossible to stitch up, just as the founding fathers intended.
Wow.
Jeez. Why did you just have that? I'm curious.
I was watching the movie
my
right before we
screensaver.
recorded this, and I literally paused it, pulled up that, and I'm like, I'm reading this on the podcast. Because it's very, he's like, just as the ancient Kree have intended. And I was like, no way he just did that.
What did you guys think of Ronan as a villain?
Never trust an elf. He's the second of 3 elf actors from Lord of the Rings to be a villain in Marvel.
Oh, wow.
Hugo Weaving was Red Skull,
Yeah, Hugo
and
Weaving.
Elrond.
Yep.
Lee Pace was Ronan and Thranduil, and then Kate Blanchett was Galadriel and Hela. Right?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Never trust an elf.
I'm not sure if you guys know this, but pretty sure you guys probably do. But the Xandarians and Ronin are technically the same race. Like, they're still technically Kree, but over generations
They
just
split.
Yeah.
they split. So you got the pink ones, the white ones, I'm pretty sure yellow ones, and like the blue ones, and they've had like their own civil wars and stuff like that, which is also a big point in the movie, like the Civil War and the peace treaty.
Yeah.
This is what ticked off Ronin in the first place.
Yeah, he didn't like that there was a treaty.
Yeah.
But yeah, we also get introduced to Karen Gillan. I don't know how you pronounce her name. As Nebula.
Kieran Gillen.
Yep.
I really like her, and I like in this role, and I'm so happy she gets more to do in Guardians 2.
Oh, yeah. She's incredible. I mean, I watched Doctor Who back in the day, and she's great in that show, too.
She's in that? I didn't even know. I know she's in the new Jumanji.
Yeah, she's in
Yeah, I was
that.
about to say, guys.
Ruby Roundhouse.
Jumanji
Jumanji. We also meet Gamora here, who is Zoe Saldana. She has been in the 2 most successful films of all time.
Yep.
Endgame and Avatar. So good for her. It took her 4 hours to get into her makeup, and she said she had a ton of crazy food requests. Like she would ask PAs to like get her a sloppy Joe, and they were in like London, so they were like, "A what?"
Is that some kind of sexual innuendo?
Wow.
Well, think about it. If you're in England and you don't know what a sloppy Joe is, you hear that, you're just like, what?
Yeah.
You know?
I don't know if I could live in England not having sloppy joes. My God, those are delicious.
Yeah.
They get me going.
I also feel like the sound mixing is so good here. Like there's a deleted scene with it's not completely sound mixed yet, and like the leather from their costumes is just so distracting. It's like so squeaky like every time they just turn anyway. So shout out sound mixing. Just all the sound people. They're like the unsung heroes, like seriously.
Oh, absolutely.
Because if it's like editing, if like you do your job well, then like no one notices you.
Yeah, then we get Gamora. Gamora pretty much steals Nebula's spot to go chase down the Power Stone.
Yeah.
And then we go back to, well, not back to, now where you're introduced to Xandar.
To Rocket and Groot, which it was very risky to have 2 main characters as
CGI.
like fully CGI. Like that's actually insane.
Oh, yeah.
It's so good. And honestly, they even improved. Like I feel like it didn't need to be improved, but like even between Guardians 1 and 2, like the Rocket CGI is like crazy
the way that they
different.
designed the hair physics and
Oh, it's so different.
Yeah.
I can go on for days about that.
Something I read up on was that Glenn Howerton, who plays Dennis in Always Sunny, was originally considered for Star-Lord, and Danny DeVito was originally considered for Rocket.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
We were
yeah.
robbed from Danny DeVito. Wait, but what if in Multiverse of Madness and Mom, we get Danny DeVito as Rocket?
Oh my God, just imagine, like...
Please, Marvel, make that happen.
That'd be great. Which also...
I live for the simple things.
I've never wanted anything else in my life.
Like how much this is gonna hurt.
Maybe Karen Gillan, whatever, she has some pull with Danny DeVito now that she's worked with him on Jumanji 2.
Yeah.
So like maybe she can bridge the gap or something. I don't know.
I want to see a Marvel movie starring Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
Who's next in line? Can we recast Shang-Chi? Can we recast Doctor Strange? Like,
Well, you guys brought up Multiverse of Madness. Did you guys hear about Doctor Strange being Peter's new mentor?
Potential spoilers for Spider-Man Homecoming 3, whatever it is. Yeah.
So in regards to that, I have 2 things to say.
Also spoilers for Guardians, just saying.
Yeah. In the Civil War storyline of the comics, Peter reveals his identity to the public, and afterwards, I think he works with Reed Richards and Doctor Strange to get the public to forget him. So I think they might be playing with that. But also, like whenever the articles came out, I hate film journalism, and they made this article like Benedict Cumberbatch cast as Doctor Strange in the new Spider-Man, and people retweeted it, and they're like, "Wow, great casting choice based off the fact that he's played Doctor Strange like 6 times already."
Great job, Internet Explorer. That's so funny. All right, but yeah, so we get Bradley Cooper and Vin Diesel. They're doing the voices. Rocket like had so many people working on him to like make him come to life, and same with Groot. But like for Rocket, they said they recorded Gunn's motions on set. They actually had like a short person, like a dwarf, also on set, but Sean Gunn could get lower than the dwarf, so they often used just Sean Gunn like squatting. Then they also had teams of animators like working to, and they're the ones that breathed the most light into.
Well, them and the riggers, because his rig was like insane. Like, not only are you getting into like the basics of just setting up the rig with your bone structure and all that stuff, but the dynamic muscle systems that they had underneath that, the dynamic skin, which then had the hair systems on top of that. Oh my goodness.
They also had images, like they took reference from all the people, and they also recorded Bradley Cooper doing his lines and took some reference from his actions that he was doing, because he was very like active.
Mm-hmm. That's like the thing about these Guardians of the Galaxy movies. Bradley Cooper and Vin Diesel never get like recognition. You never see them getting interviewed about the movie.
Yeah, they did get a little bit of interview. I saw some of it. Actually, in Vin Diesel's like interview, he said that like he actually spent like a lot of time recording. People just think he just went in and said, "I am Groot," but like what happened? James Gunn had like a 50-page document, he said, with just a couple like "I am Groots" on the left, and then the actual dialogue of what Groot was trying to say on the right. And then it was Vin Diesel's job to like somehow convey those paragraphs of information down to like different inflections of like "I am Groot," which is like a big challenge. And he also said that they brought in language coaches, and it's actually Vin Diesel's voice for all languages.
I was about to say, yeah.
Yeah, so instead of having like other people do it, Vin Diesel like learned how to say "I am Groot" in different languages, which is kind of interesting.
Me llamo Groot.
I also learned Vin Diesel plays D&D.
Oh yeah.
Me llamo Groot. Wouldn't that be my name's Groot?
Yeah. Yo soy Groot.
Soy Groot. Yo soy Groot.
How do you say we are Groot in Spanish?
Yeah.
Nosotros. God.
Yeah. Siamo?
What's the
Siamo.
nosotros? Siamo?
I think so.
Nosotros.
Wait, hold on.
Amo.
Conjugation of ser. I'm looking it up.
Matt, what's we are Groot in Spanish?
Somos. Nosotros somos Groot.
Somos Groot.
Groot. Google beat you to
Somos Groot. Oh.
Nosotros somos Groot.
Somos Groot.
You can tell I did not pay much attention in Spanish class.
I
Yeah.
didn't even have Spanish class. I took one Spanish class in high school, and I was like, screw this. This is terrible.
I had to take it in college, so I'm like, it's actually relatively fresh in my mind, but
And you
still, nope.
All right. Well, anyways, we get a Stan Lee cameo, Rocket verbally assaulting him. Speaking of Rocket, there was actually also a reference to, like, they had an actual raccoon that they would reference and, like, base a lot of the art on. His name was Oreo, and James Gunn is actually a huge, like, fan of raccoons, like, before even this film. Like, he said as a kid, he had a action figure collection of raccoons. And I was like, what? But yeah, so he took, like, James Gunn took Oreo the raccoon to the premiere in London.
Oh my god. That's actually with Rocket. I remember I played the Lego Marvel game.
Oh yeah.
I think that came out like right before the movie or like right around the same time. And in it, they didn't have a sort of idea for what Rocket would sound like.
Oh.
So in the game, he has a British accent.
Really?
Like you talk to him, and rather than him have this like
Hello.
big New Yorker, he's like, "Oi, mate, I'm Rocket." And it's like, what the hell?
Yeah, that's wow.
It's just
I
weird.
know what you're talking about. I like to forget about it.
Well, Daniel, you were talking about the rigging and stuff. The way they actually designed Rocket, like they had a lot of thought, and it's actually kind of like horrible when you think about it. When like James Gunn said that they had to think of how they would
Mutilate a raccoon.
Yeah, so those rods in the back of him you see, it's basically they had to like they imagined her like a raccoon, like they would rip its like chest like sternum apart so that because like they're hunched over like when they crawl, and then they put the rods in the back to keep it up so it's like a human more. Like that's horrible.
Oh, it's awful.
But it makes sense.
It does like it's accurate
Like you guys are like you take it at face value, which it is, face value. It is terrible, But me as somebody that does that, I don't mutilate.
Daniel regularly mutilates animals.
But no, as somebody who has like design and like rig up character. I mean, I've been working on like a character rig for like the past 3 weeks, and I'm still trying to get that set up. So like,
yeah, and you grabbed a squirrel from outside, just like broke its back to see how.
Yeah, I just broke its back, and then I pulled out its shoulder blades, and then I like lifted them up a little bit.
Can we stop?
But no,
God.
it's interesting to think about because there's a lot of technicality that goes into making things not only look like they work, but also have them just work in general. There's two different things in there. Because a lot of times, especially when we're dealing with like students and other stuff, you cheese it, right? You try your best to get things to look like they work, right?
Yeah.
It's easy, super easy to make a breakable rig. If you get anything that's wrong or in the wrong spot, you don't have your limits set up right, you have something that's in the do not touch area, and your animators go in and they mess around with it, dude, you're done.
Yeah.
Because then you have to go back to an original or previous rig file and then start from the get.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So yeah, it's a lot. That's why it's very impressive how well they made him work.
Yeah. Let's back to the tank a little bit, even though that wasn't really far from the tank, but we're just on the outskirt of the tank. Back to the tank.
Yeah.
So
Gamora's plums.
Bradley Cooper actually said that he got paid more for this than his roles in Silver Linings Playbook and The Hangover combined.
Really?
Just for voicing Rocket, which is actually
kidding me?
insane. So I don't even know. I don't know if Marvel just paid them a lot or you didn't get paid a lot in the other films. Like
I'm like speechless. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
That's crazy.
But yeah, so Quill tries to sell the orb, but the eyebrow guy does not want to.
Yeah, the broker. He's like, no, I don't want any part of
The broker.
anything with Ronin. I don't know why I went the accent there, but but then we get Gamora outside and she's eating.
We get this fight scene, which is pretty cool.
I was just gonna bring up. She's like eating something that kind of looked like a plum. I'm like, she got her plums before Bucky.
Oh yeah, she did.
What's up with Bucky and the plums?
So this is actually interesting. I was gonna bring it up during Civil War, but like he, how like in Civil War he like at the beginning he picks up a plum at like a fruit stand, and like feels it like with his
Metal hand.
robot hand, right?
I suppose so, yeah.
So that means he has enough sensitivity in his robotic arm to feel like how firm and like how ripe a plum is.
Oh.
So that must hurt like crazy when his arm gets ripped off at the end of the movie.
Probably, yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah. But Civil War is another time. Let's back to the tank. This fight that's about to happen. This apparently was actually very brutal because it was 100 degrees in London, and
Ooh, no.
Gunn said that the first few days the extras were like in high spirits, but by the end of like the shoot at this part, like all the extras would hang out in the extras tent just in their underwear because they were so hot.
Oh god.
With like yellow alien paint. And also during this fight scene, Zoe Saldana almost broke Chris Pratt's ribs. Like Pratt was trying to be all tough, like, oh, I don't need to wear the protective stuff, and then she accidentally kicked him too hard and like bruised his ribs.
Jeez.
My god.
Dude, she don't play. She's the daughter of Thanos.
Also, the behind the scenes of once Rocket like stuns Chris Pratt is really funny because before there's any like visual effects like the electricity, it's just Pratt just
falling,
writhing around on the ground.
When I was watching it, I was like, I want to see that without special effects.
Yeah.
I'll have to go check that out then. That's amazing.
Yeah. All the Guardians were pretty much captured after that quick fight scene.
Yep.
Yeah.
And here's like a big it's not really that big of it, like an exposition dump, but like you get like a brief background of like each of the characters.
Yeah, that was actually shot within 12 days of the start. They shot that really early so that they could show that for the San Diego Comic-Con trailer, which was like 12 days after they started filming.
Jeez.
And they got the trailer out, which is actually like crazy.
Nice. In the Blu-ray DVD, I read up that there's like a special feature where they recreate that scene in 8-bit.
Oh, yeah.
And in the background, you see Beta Ray Bill, who's the first non-Asgardian or non-Norse person to wield Mjolnir in the comics. And there's the guy, I forget his name. It's the guy Sylvester Stallone plays in Guardians 2. He's a part of the original Guardians of the Galaxy in the comics.
Yeah.
They're both in the background of the 8-bit.
Oh, that's cool.
Footage, yeah.
Yeah. But we also see John C. Reilly, who voices Wreck-It Ralph. He's in this. He's in other stuff, but that's just one.
You're just like, yeah, Wreck-It Ralph.
But so the three like lights like on their chests, all of them.
Yep.
That represents their three sons that they have.
Yeah.
It's just so much detail that like you would never like really know. And that makes it so tangible and real, which I think is really cool.
Maybe that's why it was so hot in London that day.
Yeah.
There were 3 suns.
I'm not sure if you guys realize this, but for when Peter was getting scanned, there was like error or anomaly icon that came up over his DNA.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which then is brought up later when they were like, yeah, we found an anomaly before when we had you scanned, because they actually showed it earlier that there's an anomaly that came up when they actually did scan him. So I thought that was just cool on the rewatch.
Spoilers for Guardians 2. He's a Celestial.
But yeah, so also Chris Pratt doing the middle finger thing he improv that on the day, and James Gunn liked it, so they just kept it in. There's a lot of improv like back and forth between Gunn and Pratt that made it into the film.
Oh yeah.
Like some really cool moments. And also in the scene, you see that they all have like communicators lodged into their necks because they are speaking different languages, but they're able to communicate, I guess, because of those communicators. But it doesn't make sense how they can communicate in Infinity War because like people from Earth don't have those communicators, unless maybe all the time they're hanging out with Chris Pratt, they've learned to speak English. So you never know.
Or does it work as like the TARDIS in Doctor Who, where it just translates what you're saying to the language that the person understands?
Maybe that might be it.
Yeah.
I mean, does anyone have James Gunn email? Let's find out.
Yeah, no, I don't.
We need answers.
They're transported to the kiln.
Yep.
The guard has Quill's Walkman hooked on a field and starts playing. There's a lead scene of him dancing to that more. This set, when they walk into the big kiln set, this was practical for the first 3 floors, which is insane.
Wow.
Like the way they could afford to do this, they said they needed it was 350,000 pounds of steel. And the only way they could afford it was to, at the end of the shoot, they melted down the steel and then resold it.
Jeez.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Makes sense, though.
It is a beautiful set, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of what Christopher Nolan did with the cornfields in Interstellar. He grew that corn for them to drive through it and then sold the corn they didn't destroy.
And then sold the maize.
Yeah, to get some profit back. That's kind of cool. Yeah, also Chris Pratt is jacked in this shot here.
Yeah, he is. And then he's sprayed by the orange portal juice.
Yeah.
Another random substance bath.
Yeah.
What do you guys think is in that?
It makes you bounce. The portal juice. Or is that the fast one? No, that's the fast one.
Fast
isn't
one.
it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's a fast one.
Yeah, the big blue alien, though, that, like, Groot sticks his fingers up his nose, that was voiced by Nathan Fillion, who is also in all of Gunn's films. Groot messes him up.
Dude, he freaking went to, like, his brain.
Including the upcoming Suicide Squad movie.
Oh, he is?
Yeah, he's TKD, I think is his name. TK, something like that. Crap, let me look it up.
It's great that Gunn is doing all these, like, group films, like, massive casts, because he needs to if he puts all of these actors in all of his films.
Oh, yeah. Floyd Belkin's his name. That's not the name that they gave on TDK.
TDK.
I don't know who that is.
I don't either.
Cool.
It's fine. Well, I really like when Gamora goes into to her cell, the shot here, just the contrast between the color, like the green of her skin versus like there was like a red light illuminating the background. Like that contrast was just So good.
Beautiful.
We also see Drax illuminated for the first time.
Yep, he's keeping an eye on her.
Good old Dave Bautista. He had the spotlight on him like he was about to enter.
Yeah.
Like he was about to break out into song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's jacked, dude, in this.
Oh, yeah.
Took him 5 hours for makeup, 18 prosthetics.
I thought you were going to say it took him 5 hours to get that jacked.
No. Yeah, that was it.
Well, he used to be in the WWE. I mean,
Yeah.
But that kind of the thing I was talking to you about earlier, Jake, that I didn't go full into detail on was
Yeah.
So I used to be a big professional wrestling fan whenever I was like in middle school or not high school, but like in middle school and elementary school. And I found out the Royal Rumble was coming to Pittsburgh, where I'm from. So I looked at my dad. I'm like, I know we haven't watched wrestling in like 5 years, but we gotta go. And he was like, oh yeah, we gotta go. So we went to check it out. It was leaked that Batista was returning that night because he was retired at the point.
Oh.
And so he came on the show like a week before, and everyone was like, oh, cool, Batista's here. And then he went and actually won the Royal Rumble.
Oh my gosh.
And what ended up happening was everyone turned on him and booed him out of the stadium.
What?
The goal was Batista wins the title at WrestleMania. Guardians of the Galaxy gets a huge like promotion boost.
Yeah.
Well, the fans literally turned on the WWE because they wanted Daniel Bryan to win so bad that they added Daniel Bryan to the championship match at WrestleMania, and he wins instead of Batista.
Gosh.
And then Batista just kind of faded away, and Guardians of the Galaxy was still a smash hit.
Yeah.
But I was like there the night that like the fans turned on Batista.
Wow.
It was insane.
That's crazy.
Jeez.
Yeah, I've never heard people boo that loud in their life.
Wow. Well, I thought he did a great job. I don't want to boo him.
Oh, he's incredible in this movie. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, I think it's funny how going back to what I said, the comics were so lesser known that they were trying anything they could to promote this film.
Right.
And so they're like, oh yeah, let's give Batista the WWE championship. And then it just turned on them. Like it backfired horribly.
Yeah. But yeah, so Batista actually cried when he heard he got the part. He was so happy, which is really cool. You can actually see his and Chris Pratt's camera test together, their audition. Batista said he had 7 auditions over like 3 months, which is a lot.
Yeah, that is a lot.
And yeah, so he's in Gamora meetup. We get that bedhead with Rocket, like smushed fur. That actually, it took 50 iterations before they nailed it, Gunn said.
Only 50?
That's what he said. You thought it should be more?
Yes.
Oh. Well.
Have you ever done hair simulation?
Nope.
It could have been a lot more.
Well, then they lucked out.
I mean, 50 is still a good bit, don't get me wrong, but it could have depend. I mean, they're also professionals. Like they had people that had been doing hair physics for a long time. So
yeah,
that makes sense. So 50 is still a good bit, but it could have definitely been a lot more.
Yeah. But then we get to Drax. I love Drax taking everything literally. Quill like saves Gamora. This scene, Gunn said, is where we finally start getting some momentum. Like we're 30 minutes into the movie. We're a little further in the podcast, sorry. But everyone, like we've met everyone. It's all set up finally, which is just interesting pacing. I love the guy. That was my favorite knife. Gunn thought up that line like on the day.
That's crazy. I like how he was like shaking head, like yeah. When Peter was like, finger across the throat, and he's like,
yeah.
And he looked to Drax, and he's just like, no, I've never heard of it.
I've never heard of that. Yeah.
But yeah, they save Gamora, and then we cut back to Ronan.
Ronan kills Four Thumbs McGee, the other, whatever his name is.
Yeah, poor Four Thumbs.
We get Thanos sitting on his chair again.
This is like the first time we actually get
shoehorned in.
Get Thanos as a major like plot point in the film. Like we've had teasers before and like end credits, but like
Josh Brolin actually did the voice and did the mocap for him. This was his first time doing it. It was someone else for the post credits in Avengers.
Oh,
in Avengers, he was so red that my minimal knowledge of comics was like, who cares about Red Hulk?
Yeah.
Like I didn't know it was Thanos. I thought it was Red Hulk. I was like, what?
Oh my gosh! Even though we've seen Ross like on Earth.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, they're doing Red Hulk now. Okay,
and he's just in space for some reason. Okay.
Yeah.
I was seriously so confused.
I feel like the VFX gets so much better in Infinity War. Like, it was really weird seeing Thanos look like this.
Yeah, I mean...
in Guardians. Luckily, he's kind of like in shadow, so like you can't really tell, but...
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's changed a good bit, but at the same time, I feel like it's a character that's okay for that to happen to,
Also, Thanos is just like a jerk to his daughter. He's like, you lost my favorite daughter. And Nebula's right there. Like, what the heck?
He doesn't care. He doesn't play politics. He's just straight up.
Karen Gillan, I don't know. She shaved her head for this role.
Yeah.
She didn't have to for the next one, though.
Wasn't it like a big reveal at Comic-Con or something?
Yeah.
Like she sat down with a wig and then removed it and everyone was like,
yeah.
Whoa!
And then the announcer was like, isn't Nebula bald? And she was like, yep, I actually did something. And she like whips it off, and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh!"
It was wild.
Yeah. So then we get the plan for the prison break. This shot of them sitting down has been studied a lot. Like, it's so interesting. Like, I think you have two of them on the right closer together than one on the left. The triangle points directly to the background if you like follow them.
Yep.
Just like the staging, the blocking of them, and it follows Groot. So like your eye is always centralized, but it's pointing towards the action that Groot is doing when he's grabbing that battery. It's just beautiful staging and blocking, and you also see Drax in the background like watching Groot just like in the middle, like in blind daylight, take out this battery. Like it's just like a genius shot. Like it's oh my gosh. So good.
God, just what a good movie.
Yeah. Also, Vin Diesel, speaking of Groot, he said that he would walk around on stilts to get into character.
Oh my god.
What a vibe, honestly. What are you doing up there,
Vin Diesel. What a king.
I am Groot.
I actually, he seemed like such like a cool guy, like in interviews. Like I'm not like a big Vin Diesel fan. I haven't really watched the Fast and Furious movies, but like he seems like a cool guy. Like he played D&D. Like a guy asked him if he would join their group, and he was like started talking like super nerd D&D stuff like in the middle of like this panel to this guy, and it was like really cool.
That's insane.
Yeah. Everything breaks loose pretty much. Drax has a cool fight sequence and gets Rocket that gun.
Yep.
And then the score here, this is where it really stands out, like what you were talking about, Pat.
That's such a good bit. Whenever Drax just throws him the gun and goes dun 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 dun. Oh yeah. And like everything just goes silent, and all you hear is just that, and then they just start unloading. Ugh.
Yeah. Also, just think of what we're looking at right now. We just saw a blue tattooed alien chuck a machine gun to a raccoon standing on a tree shooting drones. Like, what is happening?
This is a movie that a major motion picture company produced.
Yeah.
Also, do you think Drax is blue?
I mean, in the comics, he's green, but he's more blue-gray here.
He has more blue pigment here. I agree he is obviously more green in the comics, but he's still green.
I think he's pretty green in this movie.
He's green.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
He's like a nice pine.
It is very pine.
Well, they said they try to get away from green. James Gunn said they literally tried to not be green in this film because Gamora was already green. That's why I'm thinking it's not green.
Well, no, like it's still.
Yeah, it's a very faded kind of green. You're right.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like I could say gray,
but it's still technically green, right? And also like how they did it with the tattoos, right? They also cover that up. Because like in the comics, right, he technically does have tattoos, but they're like larger pieces, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas this is like a lot more intricate, which is
right.
Also help break that up.
They actually like mean something. I don't know exactly what they mean, but they're supposed to mean something in his culture. They like spent a lot of time deciding that, but they never said in the behind the scenes like what it actually was. So I was like, okay, yeah, I guess it means something.
It's just like my reflexes are too fast.
I also love just the pacing in this sequence. Pretty much every like fight sequence pretty much is like you're kind of directing like a mini movie almost, but you get a chance to breathe when you cut to Quill just like talking to the guy for his prosthetic leg, and it gives the audience a chance to like laugh and breathe before going back to the intensity of like the action.
You need my what?
Yeah.
I was literally, I've seen this movie like 17 times probably in my life, and I still was cackling at that part.
Yeah.
Like you're right, it's so well paced.
Yeah. But yeah, so they eventually get up to the tower. We get a cool team hero shot for the first time.
Yeah. Oh, wait, before we do this, I wanted to make one reference, okay?
Yeah.
When Rocket was on Groot, it reminded me in Shrek 2 when they get Mumbo, you know?
Oh my gosh.
Did anybody else think that, or was it just me?
It was just you, but I see it now.
Right? Because like Groot, like he's able to walk faster, but like there's like this one wide shot where he's like walking all slow with like Rocket on him. I'm like, that's freaking Shrek 2 right there.
More milk, less foam.
Also, I feel like this is like the start of Rocket's obsession with getting limbs, like prosthetic limbs from people. He asked in Infinity War for Bucky's arm as well. I was like, oh, I'm gonna get that arm. Also, should Bucky's arm, should it have disintegrated in Infinity War?
Wait, did it or didn't it? I forget.
I don't know. I guess their clothes do. It does.
I was gonna say no, but then like it has the same properties as, I guess, like that he can like have like the nervous system with it.
Right.
So
Well,
that's true. It's probably really connected.
No, here's the thing you gotta think about, guys, right? When the characters faded into dust, right? It wasn't just them and like
yeah,
their
it was
clothing
their
fell,
clothes.
you know?
Yeah, what if in Endgame they all came back just nude? In the hero shot at the end when they're all lined up, it's like half of them are naked.
That'd be weird. But like, no, it was like,
yeah.
I guess you can like break it down by like how you can identify the character, you know? So like that in part is like their uniform or like what's a part of them, you know?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
But let's get back to the tank. So I have a question. Why do they shoot the bazookas one at a time for the first 3. And then they're like, all right, now we'll do it. Like, what?
Do you watch like the How It Should Have Ended on YouTube?
Yes, I saw that.
They talk about it there too.
And they're like, don't shoot one at a time, just everyone fire.
And they also shoot at separate windows.
Yeah.
Also, the guy shouting "fire on my command," that gun said like, "That's my friend. We met on a double date." And it didn't. The girls didn't work out, but our friendship did. I was like, what?
That man had like the thickest spit shoot out of his mouth.
Yeah.
It was like oh god, what's his name? The dude
like
who plays
in,
King George in Hamilton.
Yeah, that's what
Josh
Groban. Yeah.
You'll be back.
Yeah. So Quill goes and finds a Milano, which is named after Peter Quill's childhood crush, Alyssa Milano.
Ugh.
What?
She's attractive.
Yeah. So Quill also goes back for his Walkman. Gunn was like, yeah, we put the Pina Colada song on. And he was like, have you ever listened to that? Like, because that's a weird song, man. It's about like them having like wanting affairs, but like then they meet up with each other. Like, it is such a weird song, but it's so catchy.
I also love how the song's called Escape.
Yeah,
I was going to
say that. Yeah, I was like, that's where it fit in because it's called Escape, and they're literally escaping, so like it makes perfect sense. Not necessarily the lyrics with it, but
Brad said he kind of got sick of that song because he heard it so much. Which I wonder if like that's. I wonder if like the cast like got sick of the songs because they heard it so much.
Yeah, they can't even stand like the soundtrack or anything.
Because I remember when I worked at Subway, they played Christmas music from like November 1st until Christmas, and I was just so sick of Christmas music by like beginning of September or December.
Well, I worked at Barnes & Noble, and the way the music works there is corporate's like, yeah, we want to sell this CD, so let's pump this music through. So I joined that job right at the end of Guardians 2's run. So I heard a lot of Awesome Mix Volume 2, but it wasn't too often. So I was like, yeah, this is nice. And then Greatest Showman came out.
Oh, my.
And that's all I heard.
Is that why you hate
weeks
that?
And months. No, I'm not even kidding you. We played 3 separate Greatest Showman albums. We did the one where all the artists covered it. We did the original album, and then there was like an a cappella album of it.
Oh my gosh.
All 3 albums, so it was 3 times as likely to come on, and they played for over a year.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't like the Greatest Showman like plot-wise. I was like, it's okay. It has good music though, and now I despise the music, so I despise that movie.
Wow. Well,
sorry, that was just a side tangent. Sorry.
Let's back to the tank.
It was just me opening up. Sorry.
We won't have you on if we ever do Greatest Showman.
Pat just needed to escape himself. He just had a little bit out. That's all it was.
Yeah. All right. So they escape. They pina colada it.
Behold.
Yeah. We get Rocket making some bombs, and we come across Quill's mom's gift again. Apparently, I didn't even see this, but Groot's just messing around in the background, like playing with stuff on the walls. And Gamora still doesn't trust Quill here. They're still building that trust, not giving the coordinates to nowhere. Also, there's a line here that was like improv'd by Pratt and Gunn, the Jackson Pollock painting thing.
She has no idea. If I had a black light, this place would look like a Jackson Pollock painting.
Would a 9-year-old leaving Earth know who Jackson Pollock was?
I mean, I knew who like Andy Warhol was whenever I was in like the 1st grade.
I just don't know if he'd remember that for that reference, but it's a hilarious line.
We don't know if his knowledge is limited to like he could still get like transmissions and stuff. I don't know.
And they chose Jackson Pollock to send.
Hey man, to each their own.
I don't know.
Imagine like Earth is like, we can finally transmit to space. What are we going to send him? Jackson Pollock.
Yeah. So we get to the scene of Yondu confronting the broker guy and doing the gibberish thing. Sean Gunn like literally could not keep it together, and like you see it a little bit.
It's great. It's a great scene.
Yeah.
I love the line where he's like, "You got any more little things like this? I like to put them outside of my console whenever I'm flying." He goes, "I can't tell if you're joking."
Yeah. So then the Guardians arrive at Nowhere, which is the severed head of the ancient celestial being, which is really cool. Yep. Groot gives a girl a flower, which I thought was nice. I feel like he's such a sweetheart. He's the heart of it, and it's so interesting because he's like, you have the easiest way to like see into him because he has barely any dialogue and he's all CG, but like he's like the heart of the movie, which is just so peculiar.
And that's kind of something I was going to touch upon like later, was that everyone in the Guardians of the Galaxy has lost something.
Yeah.
Except Groot. Like Groot just kind of exists. I mean, I think his planet was destroyed, but he's kind of the only one who's grounded and
because he's a tree.
I don't know, like human kind of
grounded.
God, that joke. But no, he's like the nicest of everyone. He's the person who kind of cares about everybody, regardless of what happens.
He's the mom of the group.
He really is.
He's the multiverse of madness of the group. Yeah, but yeah, so then we get to them in like the little, while they're waiting for the collector, they're at the bars, like kind of betting on like the alien fights.
Oh, we also forgot to say, Moon Age Daydream came on when they were coming into nowhere.
By David Bowie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Peter flirts with Gamora by discussing Footloose. This was actually Pratt's idea when they were developing the script, or like kind of finalizing the scenes, because he felt like Quill would be a person that would idolize kind of Footloose and like that story and kind of build it up as this legend over the years.
Who put the sticks up their butts?
Also, Kevin Bacon is a friend of James Gunn, so Bacon really liked the film and actually tweeted about it, and James Gunn was really happy. He's like, apparently they worked together in the past. Yeah, and then Gamora is not about this like flirtatious dancing.
I believe her exact words were pelvic sorcery.
Yes, those were the exact words.
But then we're broken that up by Drax and
Rocket fighting.
Yeah, they're fighting. He called me vermin. She called me rodent.
And that's interrupted. It's a nice moment. You see a little bit of Rocket's pain.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But then we also meet the Collector, who is played by Benicio del Toro.
Who I think was like the excellent casting choice, because Benicio del Toro makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And the Collector made me very uncomfortable.
Well, he's apparently a very awesome and like serious, like chill person.
Oh, I don't doubt it, yeah.
Sorry, a serious actor, but an awesome, like chill person. He chatted with the extras like all the time. He said that actually, all right, so Gunn told a story during the director's commentary that one day there was a set PA, like production assistant, that was the daughter of like the guitarist in Iron Maiden, and Benicio del Toro like loves that band, so he was fangirling over this set PA, and like wanted a picture with her, and the set PA was like in shock, like that Benicio del Toro wanted a picture like with her. I thought that was so cool.
Benicio del Toro looks like the kind of guy who's just like an Iron Maiden fan guy.
Yeah.
God, I love Iron Maiden.
We also see that dog, which is Cosmo the dog, which is, I believe, one of the original Guardians in the comics.
Oh, really?
Is that?
I don't know. I'll fact check it, but I'm not.
Wait, no, yeah, wasn't he like?
I believe so.
I'm pretty sure he had like intelligence, but he still couldn't speak, so he had like psychic abilities or something like that.
Yeah, he did.
Oh yeah,
I'm pretty sure.
Cosmo, a telepathic Soviet dog.
Yeah. I don't know why I remember that.
But in the background, there's also a dark elf and a Jatari guy.
Yeah, I noted that. I was like, there's a dark elf. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it's. I mean, like Pat said, he's very uncomfortable to think about like how he's literally collecting like people and all these things. And then like when he sees Groot for the first time, he's just like, I would like to collect your body.
Yeah, I never noticed that. Like that he like offers to pay him for his corpse
After your death,
At the time of your death, of course.
So it's like,
yeah. Also the shot where Quill drops the orb was not planned, but it just adds like what we said with him being like clumsy. Like Chris Pratt literally just dropped it and just recovered it and stayed in character, so they used that shot.
It's so funny.
Yeah. Also, Del Toro had an interesting view of the Collector. He said the Collector is kind of feels like he's like Noah, like from Noah's Ark. Like he feels like there's a catastrophe coming to the galaxy, and that he wants to collect everything so that
everything can survive.
Yeah, that's what he views like the Collector's purpose is.
It makes me think of V for Vendetta.
I thought that was an interesting thing.
Huh. Neat.
Yeah. I wonder if that catastrophe was Thanos or if it's something else. Dun dun dun. If he knew it was Thanos, though, like he probably didn't know, but like he should not have been collecting those Infinity Stones then.
Yeah, hold up, buddy.
I feel bad that the Collector's like collection gets exploded like multiple times in MCU films. Like it blows up here when the assistant grabs it.
Yeah.
And then it also gets destroyed in Infinity War when Thanos goes. But whatever. Also here, Drax phones Ronan, and the phone guy is actually Gunn's best friend, he said. James Gunn seems like a friendly guy.
Oh god, yeah. He'd be the kind of guy you want to go have a beer with, you know?
Yeah.
Just imagine being James Gunn's friends, and he's like, hey guys, just need someone to just exist in this movie. Who wants
Hey, Chris Pratt needs someone to act off of. You want to be in it? Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so also Howard the Duck's in the background of the Collector's thing, I forgot to say.
Wait, did we see it here, or is that, I only saw him
It is in
later.
the background here, but it's also shown later.
Huh.
Yeah, and then we get an Infinity Stones backstory, and then everything goes kaboom, and there's some cool purple flames. This is actually like pretty much the midpoint of the film. Now that they know that it's like about, like know that the orb has the stone in it, like their plans have to change, which is good, like structurally. And then Ronan shows up.
As well as Yondu. No. They like arrive at the same time.
And Yondu.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yondu's like not a factor till the end.
Yeah. I like how they gave him a lot more in the second movie.
Yeah, I like that they use like the mining mining ships. I think the targeting effects are really cool. Kind of reminded me of like the Dark Elf HUD.
Yeah, same.
From Thor 2.
It's a really nice effect.
Yeah. I feel like Drax did not live up to his name of Drax the Destroyer. He was more Drax the Destroyed by Ronan.
Did we ever talk about him in
this scene?
Comic counterpart?
We just said that he was green.
Okay.
In the comics.
In the comics, he also, I think, is either Thanos' dad or granddad that actually makes Drax.
Oh, I think you're right.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That sounds very familiar. I forget exactly what it was.
They design him to kill Thanos.
Yeah.
So, like, his one goal is to kill Thanos in the comics, right?
Right. Yeah. And in this one, like, he's like, Ronan's my enemy. And then, like, at the end, he's like, just kidding, it's Thanos.
So it's like, his motives are still the same, but, like, his origin's definitely different. But I like how they changed it up like that.
Well,
makes him feel a little more human.
Speaking of names, how did Ronan get the name Ronan the Accuser? Like, I feel like that's just like Ronan the Tattletale. Like, I feel like that's kind of a lame name.
I've been playing Pokemon on stream recently, and I love how in like, those kind of games, everybody is named after their occupation.
Yeah.
Or just something about them. There's like Parasol Girl Emily. And it's like, what? Like, imagine being named after your occupation or something about you.
Slim Jim Guy Dan.
Podcaster Jake.
Slim Jim Guy Dan.
Likes to eat a lot, Jake. That's kind of like what we were talking about, like with like when you like refer to yourself like as your name, like, oh, come on, Banner. You should got paid up front or whatever. Come on, Podcaster Jake.
And like, did he give himself that title and everyone else below him was just like, okay? Or was he like given it? Like, was he appointed
I want to be Ronan the Accuser or something. I don't know.
Ronan definitely seems like the kind of guy who would give himself a nickname.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And just like, everyone's like, sure, man.
Yeah. Because I feel like if you were choosing a name, you would not, I don't know, because I would not choose Jake the Accuser. Like, whatever. Let's stop talking about this.
I mean, for him, I guess it kind of makes sense because he's very judgmental and his whole thing's about like judgment and like revenge. But still, like, yeah, let's just continue.
Maybe they couldn't be Ronan the Revenger because the Revengers had to be in Thor Ragnarok.
Yeah, exactly. So
I do like, there was actually, you can see it in the, I believe the gag reel on Disney Plus, but they did like, they pulled a Pixar and they like fully rendered out bloopers. Like there's like some Rocket and Groot like fully completed CG bloopers. Like there's one where Groot is like crammed into the mining ship with Rocket and he wet willies Rocket.
Oh, that's amazing.
I'm just like, are you serious? There's also one where Rocket like couldn't get into the ship because he was too short that they like rendered. Yeah. Then Gamora's blown up pretty much. I really like, actually before we get there, sorry, I like how Quill flies a ship with another ship. Like that's really impressive.
yeah, dude.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
He's like freaking literally being a parasite, but like also it was crazy thing about like how technical you had to be, like either your hands there.
Yeah, that's a lot of control. Holy moly.
Yeah, like imagine playing a game based off of like one of those streaming services like Stadia.
It's like people that like
Stadia or something
build
like
games in Minecraft or something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, why would you do that? I don't know. But yeah, so anyways, back to Tank. Gamora's blown up. Ronan gets the orb. Does the classic villain mistake of not actually checking if he killed Drax, but just dumps him into some yellow liquid.
Spinal fluid.
Yeah. Quill calls out to Yondu. There's a lot of controversy over this scene of him in space. Gunn said that, like, they consult with a bunch of scientists. And basically, like, if in, like, some certain situations, like, he could have survived in space if he, like, expelled all the oxygen from his lungs. Also, because you can kind of chalk it up to he's half human, half like that celestial like ego thing, so that might have helped him a little bit survive in space.
Yeah. Plus, you can also make an argument because yes, they technically did leave Nowhere, but they were still on the edge of it, and Nowhere does have a composed atmosphere, so it could have been the equivalent of like being in like an upper atmosphere like environment like on Earth. Like still, it's gonna freaking suck, but it's not going to be like the like space, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right, yeah. I just love whenever people try to like make science out of this kind of stuff, and I'm like, there is a talking raccoon in the movie.
And a talking tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was outside in space for 2 seconds longer than what he technically would have if he survived. Oh no.
See, that kind of brings me going back to Ant-Man and the Wasp. There's a bit where they acknowledge, I don't remember the exact science, they acknowledge kind of like a paradox or something that contradicts something. Like they acknowledge that, oh, we can't do this because of this, but then later in the movie they go ahead and do it anyways and just contradict their own statement, and it's like, wait a minute.
Also, I think in Endgame they also like do some crazy science thing that like doesn't make sense, like the way when Tony figures out time travel, it's like an inverted like crazy shape, but like I think in real life you can't invert that shape or something like that.
No, yeah, you and I saw Endgame together, and I saw it with my roommate freshman year with you guys, and he leaned over to me, he goes, you can't invert that shape.
And you just left the theater. Just like, nope, I can't do this anymore.
Movie sucks. I'm out.
But yeah, so Groot Pulp Fiction's Drax and saves him. Batista was actually getting over a cold here. There was apparently like a cold that like went around the entire cast. So at some point they all had a cold, but still acted their hearts out. And this is actually like Drax's like emotional core. He like gets really serious and talks about how like his rage
like blinded him,
kind of like enveloped him. And he's like apologizing, but I thought he did really, really well. I really like Rocket. You're making me beat up grass. That line was almost cut, but Gunn fought to keep it, and I'm so happy he did.
Oh, it's great. I even love like the grass like flies at the camera.
Yeah.
You see like a chunk of the dirt go at the camera. It's great.
In 3D, apparently that was probably really cool.
Oh, yeah.
Grass. Speaking of Wreck-It Ralph from earlier, Ronan goes turbo here and decides not to be Thanos' pawn anymore.
He's like, yeah, I'll just do it myself. I'll take out the middleman.
He's got major cojones there to do that against Thanos.
I mean, you gotta think about it like this, right? Thanos doesn't have any Infinity Stones right now because of that. He gave the 2 that he had to Loki.
For some reason, your audio cut out a little bit. I thought you said Infinity Songs, and I was like, what?
Like never-ending story.
Ooh, child, things are gonna get easier. Yeah.
But no, like Thanos literally is like probably at his lowest power level right now compared to like every other point in the Marvel cinematic universe. If you think about it,
because he's sitting in a chair all day. Get up and do something.
He's not doing anything, and then like he lost.
He's in full couch potato mode.
He lost the Mind Stone.
Yeah,
and then he also couldn't get back the Tesseract because that was Loki's job pretty much. So he's just out for the count.
He's just taking L's.
Rip.
Poor Thanos.
Poor Thanos.
Until he wins, but poor Thanos.
Poor Thanos. Why are we sympathizing with him? I mean, Infinity War really is his story.
Oh, yeah.
We'll get there. We will get there. We might need to make that like a 2-part episode or something. I don't know. Anyways, back to the Milano. Or actually, sorry, the Ravengers have Quill.
Yep. Is that what she's filling your head with, boy? Stand a man.
Yes. Rocket threatens to blow up the ship. I love the line that Sean says, Captain's gonna teach stuff.
Yeah.
So good.
God, Sean Gunn, what a man.
And then also later when Yondu says, you always did have a scrope, boy. I'm like, did they really just say that?
I didn't notice that until this watch. I was like, wait, what did he say?
Did he really just say it?
But we get back to the Milano with the whole team. I love how it's not like the typical cliche, like inspiring each other, but they're like bickering. It's just these character moments. Again, the team back together and like they're bickering, that relationship, showing them getting comfortable, like bantering off of each other. The whole like, we have time to work out the minutia of the plan or whatever. This scene is, I think, really done well. The scene was actually added after Joss Whedon read the script because they said it needed more humor and like more James Gunn. And actually Joss Whedon gave James Gunn his first job, so I thought that was kind of cool.
With this scene, the bit where he's like, I look around this room and you know what I see? Losers.
Yeah.
We had this thing in high school. It was called BOLD. It was like Boys Organized Leadership Division. I don't know, dude. It was something weird. What it was a bunch of high school students would go back and they'd all get a group of middle school students assigned to them and they'd take them station to station and kind of like teach them about high school and life and everything.
Yeah.
And I did it one year and the guys that we had were they were like the nerdy kids.
Yeah.
And there's always a big dodgeball game at the end of it.
Oh my gosh.
And I was like, we're going to get destroyed. We're going to lose dodgeball so hard. So I was like, well, I got to rally the troops. So I ripped off this speech.
Oh my gosh.
To hype everyone up. I'm like, I look around this room and I see losers. And I was like, but tonight we're winners. We didn't win the tournament, but we won a few games, which is like we moved on in the tournament. And I was like,
that's cool.
Rallied the troops, I guess. All right.
This speech actually that he gives, like that they've all lost things and like bond over it. The Quill speech, they did a lot of takes and Chris Pratt wasn't really getting it, but James Gunn finally said like, just say the speech as if you're saying it like yourself, just Chris Pratt. And he did it, and that's the take they used.
Oh yeah.
Also look at us, just a bunch of jackasses standing in a circle. That was improv by Sean Gunn on set. Yeah, so we get a montage of the plan.
Yep.
Cherry ball.
It's don't let Ronan to the surface.
Mm-hmm.
They get scavenger outfits, Guardians of the Galaxy. They contact Wreck-It Ralph again.
Yep.
They have the walking down the hall scene.
Yeah.
Legendary.
Which is like another expectation subversion because like Gamora's yawning, Quill's rubbing his nose, Rocket's grabbing his balls.
It's so good how they're like, these guys are the people who are going to save the day.
Yeah. Save the galaxy.
These hooligans.
It's really funny seeing it pre-CG because like Rocket and Groot are just like people in green morph suits. Yeah. And then we get Act 3, baby!
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
I like when they come in and like shoot that like orange ball to like distract them. Like that was kind of cool.
Yeah, like that like electrical net thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was watching it today whenever they did that, and whenever they dive bombed, and there was some stragglers still left behind. I'm like, did you not get the memo to dive? Like, it's been like 30 seconds, dude.
Yeah.
Their comms were down. They're like, oh, down. I thought you said around.
Bring it around town. And then they just get shot. I like when Nova Corps comes in. Quill's like, they got my dick message.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Yondu goes down, and
Yeah, he has a dip because he's hit, and he's like, I'll see you at the end of this, boy.
Quill crash lands into the Dark Aster ship.
They had like a couple people go ahead and like blew a hole into it. That way
Just
they could
like
get
Kevin
in.
Bacon.
And then we're just like Kevin Bacon, which I'm sure again he tweeted about, and he was like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel like there's like such a funny thing, like irony in that like this is the movie most removed from Earth, yet it has like the most pop culture references.
Oh, yeah. They did pop culture references right in this movie.
Yeah.
You know, it fit with the plot, it fit with everything. Then you see a movie like Ready Player One, and I don't mean to bash Ready Player One, but the pop culture references just kind of happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're making a Ready Player 2 novel.
I know, and I'm going to read it, and I'm going to hate it, and I'm going to love it.
What?
Yeah, I read Ready Player One and was like, wow, I remember AC/DC, I remember Rush, and then I thought about it and was like, that wasn't that good of a book. And then a coworker of mine texted me like, Ready Player 2 is coming out. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna hate it. I'm so excited. There's like a whole page of Ready Player One where they just copy and paste the intro to Monty Python and the Holy Grail. They just basically copy and paste it, and I'm like reading it and I'm like, aha, yeah, this is a funny bit, and I'm like, wait, but he didn't write this. What's going on? Why am I enjoying it?
This is plagiarism. I saw Ready Player One it came out on my birthday a couple years ago. I saw it with some Shades people, my a cappella group.
Fancy.
Yeah, but we get Batista laughing hysterically as they're crash landing. That was actually thought up by Gunn on the day again, which I think kind of segued nice into how much Batista like laughs out loud in next films, and I'm so happy he does that. Like, I love his laugh as Drax.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it's so comical.
Yeah.
So then we get Nebula going Karen mode. Get out of my way.
Played by Karen.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Karen, she's a cool Karen though. I
she is
thought
a
that was a
cool
joke you were making, Daniel.
I didn't know. I guess
Oh
it
my
was, but I
gosh.
didn't even think about
Wow,
that.
Daniel's just so good he can make jokes subconsciously now. He's like Cosmo the dog. He's just telekinetic powers. But yeah, also the Nova Corps, they touch tips to stop the ship from coming. I feel like that's like literally like the theme of this film. Like, they're stronger together. Like, that's the theme of Guardians.
I thought you were saying
Not touching tips.
The theme of the film is touching
That's
tips.
not the theme of the film. Oh my gosh. Groot releases some beautiful lights.
When could you do that?
I love Baby Groot, but Adult Groot is awesome. Apparently, I saw on IMDb trivia that the reason Drax said that, like, when you learn to do that is because in none of the comics, like, that's a power. Like, that power was made up for the movie.
Oh.
So that was kind of a nod to, like, it's never been done before.
Huh. I mean, makes
Nice.
sense. You know.
Yeah, I mean, that's IMDb, though, and according to Pat, we can't trust that now, based on your friend.
Apparently, yeah. I mean, I have an IMDb page and my name was spelled wrong for like 6 years on it.
Really?
Yeah, they forgot the K in my first name.
Wait, what are you in on IMDb for? I'm on IMDb, too, for this, like, horror movie I did.
I'm on IMDb for a short film my friend made whenever he was in film school. And English isn't his first language, so I don't blame him for spelling my name wrong. But I was just like, I remember seeing the page and being like, I'm the only one with my name spelled wrong. And I was like, all right, cool. It was fun.
I do have an IMDb. Where'd my picture go?
Do I?
You have to make one, I'm pretty sure. Or if you're in one, have someone
Never mind.
make it for you.
Well, I would have only been in like your films, I guess.
Yeah, I don't have any IMDb stuff for that. Yeah, one day, Daniel. All right. I love that with like that Drax undermines this moment though with the spores. Like, he's like calling out his friends. He's like, "This green whore is now my friend."
She's like, "Oh, will you please?"
Then he bazookas Nebula.
And then Nebula shows up out of nowhere, and he's like, "Nobody talks to my friends like that."
And then, dude, Yondu's a beast.
Oh my god.
The music gets so mysterious, like the score, and then he opens up his jacket and the unsettling like bell thing
Goes off.
Yeah, it takes down like 20 people.
I just love how they don't show. They just keep teasing like he has this arrow, and you don't really know what it does until it happens, and it's just this jaw-dropping moment. It's awesome.
And then like we see Nebula healing, and that's kind of gross.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not a fan.
It's like a giant cracking your knuckles, but it's like cracking your everything back into place.
Yeah. Also, we're kind of going all over the place, but that's just because this is like there's so much happening, and I feel like that's a testament to the editing that we can kind of understand what's happening and cutting back and forth between all these places. Like next, the Ronin ships start kamikazing, which is actually like pretty intense. And there's a quick shot where Barit from the beginning saves someone on the bridge.
Oh, that was Barit. I just thought it was another pink person.
Well, the two pink people in a few shots after that are John C. Reilly's
family,
wife and daughter. Yeah.
But there's another one where it's Barit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then Quill back on the ship runs into Baldy what do you say, Cree guy? Baldy McCree?
Yep. Baldy McCree, something like that. Name's McCree.
Yeah, and he's recognized as Star-Lord, so that's some character growth. Good stuff.
That's a great bit.
Good payoff.
Finger to the throat means death.
That skirmish is really cool, with Groot taking down like 20 guys. I love how the music just cuts out.
Dude, yeah, he went freaking off.
I love how whenever he does that, Quill just kind of looks at Drax, and Drax just smiles and nods.
Yeah.
And then Groot just looks back and he just smiles. It's like, look, guys, I did it.
So Ronan blasts the Nova Corps people that are touching tips, and the ship breaks through.
No touching tips allowed.
Rocket says the city's been evacuated, but
at the end, there's still people.
At the end, they're like everyone's witnessing like that dance battle. So like,
yeah, I noticed that too. It was like, yep, everyone's out. Don't worry, and then everyone's there watching it happen.
Yeah, I don't know.
There could have been people who like stayed behind, because you can't really confirm if everybody's gone unless you do like some kind of like tracker, like everybody has like implants.
Cosmo the dog would have been able to tell.
That's true.
Wait, who?
That's why Cosmo's not in. He's too OP.
The dog, Pat. The.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Sorry. The space dog. But yeah, so Gamora and Nebula have a little fight. You see Gamora's skeleton, which kind of reminded me of episode 6 in Star Wars when Luke's getting electrocuted.
Yeah. Although I felt like the effect in this, it was like really well done, the way they handled like the subsurface scattering with the light going through. That was really nice.
Yeah. Dude, freaking Nebula cuts off her own hand to escape. That's intense.
Yeah. And that seemed like her like legit hand.
Yeah.
Like her arm was like replaced, but like her hand was still, I think, like her hand. So like that's,
I don't know.
That's weird to think about.
And isn't it, if I'm remembering correctly, in the second one, doesn't she have just like this dinky little like
a claw?
Yeah.
That claw. Yeah, but Quill blasts Ronan and it doesn't work.
Oh no, actually
Rocket.
I actually want to talk about this, right? Because Gamora, she breaks open the door thing, right? And then she just shoots open the ceiling and then just jumps up, right? So why didn't everybody go with her to take out Nebula and then go up that way?
Maybe she had to take down like that green thing to be able to blast through the floor. Like maybe there was like a shield or something.
That's same thing. Like if Gamora, they could have still been there and done that.
Right, they could have all went with her, but maybe they like needed a distraction or something.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I don't know. But Rocket crashes into the ship and saves Drax. Almost kills Drax also.
Yeah.
Also, like, you could see right when the ship's coming, like, Quill tackles Groot to save him. So
yeah,
that was kind of cool. We don't get a lot of Quill Groot moments. I also like here when the ship's going down, you see Groot make the conscious decision to sacrifice himself, which is just a testament again to the animators, making you care about, like, this CG character.
And then we get
And then Groot...
Oh man, the we are.
I almost cried.
I remember like whenever that came out, I was hanging out with some of my neighbors, and one of them was like, "When you said we are Groot, that was the stupidest thing that's ever happened," and I ripped the kid a new one.
Oh my gosh!
I got steamed at him.
Yeah,
he was. I say kid. I make it sound like I was like 16 and he was like 9.
It was the 9-year-old you're stealing from.
I was like 16. He was like, I don't know, 14. He's not that far behind me. Yeah, I got a little angry.
Yeah. Zoe Saldana actually did. She was crying on set when she was like recognizing what was happening, which is crazy because it was like before CG. So it was literally like a guy in a green morph suit, but she was so just like moved by the moment. So
oh yeah,
that's pretty intense.
Wow. What a movie.
Yeah.
Then we were woken back up by
dance battle. Yeah. Then the city that was evacuated, the inhabitants come out somehow. Also, Gunn suggested something. So you know when Rocket charges at Ronan, like when he comes out?
Yeah.
Gunn said that this is up for debate. Like people can think either way, but like was Rocket running at... I mean, I feel like it's this one. I feel like Rocket was running at him to get vengeance for Groot, but he also said that he feels like Rocket intentionally ran over there to get blasted by the bomb part so he could make a bomb, or for the distraction.
I feel like it was more for Groot, honestly.
That's what I'm saying. But it could have been both, like, you know.
Yeah.
The reason I say that especially is because when you're doing animating, right, the one thing that you need to also keep in mind is thinking moments, right?
Yeah.
It's very easy to go from moment to moment. Like if you're like, okay, my character's going to be fighting this scene, and then they're going to be walking over here.
Then hopscotching.
But it's very hard to pause and have your characters like have them animated and consciously like show that they're thinking about something, right?
Yeah.
What you see here is that once Rocket gets blasted over to like the parts, right?
Then he like
He
thinks.
stops And he observes.
Like, he's like, oh, this is good.
Yeah, and he's like, I can do this.
Yeah.
And then he starts doing this stuff. So that's why I say that.
Gotcha. I do like how Ronan gives him the title, The Guardians of the Galaxy, but then he freaking starts monologuing.
Yeah.
You got me monologuing.
And then he says like something like Ishima. Yeah.
And then Quill starts the dance battle.
Yeah.
I can't believe this works. In the behind the scenes, though, Ronan starts dancing back in like a blooper reel thing.
Oh, yeah, I remember seeing that.
Oh, that's such a funny clip.
And then he passes it to Gamora, and Gamora starts dancing, and then everyone, and like all the extras start dancing too. It like turns out this giant dance off, I guess, is pretty cool.
Kind of like a dance mob thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Dance off, bro. You're on.
But also, apparently Pratt pointing towards Gamora, be like, Gamora. Subtle, take it back. That was like improv. Like Gamora, like Zoe Saldana was not ready for that.
It's good that like they were like all remained in character.
Yeah.
Like it all fits still.
Yeah. And then they win by holding hands. Power of friendship.
Don't oversimplify the greatest scene in the movie.
No, I'm just kidding. I know, but I do love that like Quill accepts taking his mother's hand by taking Gamora's hand. Like I really like that. And like when it transitions from like that space background back to like the purple of the purple flames of the Infinity Stone, like that transition was really cool.
Oh, it's clean as hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
Family and love.
I also love how when they do start holding hands and then like shaky cam all throughout, but then as it transitions, it becomes into like a more steady
Yeah.
pan. Like, oh my god.
Yeah, when they gain control of it and they lower their heads, it's just like, oh gosh. Have you seen how it should have ended with Ronan also grabs onto them and they're like, what are you doing? Let go. He's like, no way, dude.
I love it like whenever they finally all hold hands, they just like look at Ronan and the score comes back into the main theme.
Yeah.
And then he just goes, "You're mortal. How?" And then the best line in the movie where he goes, You said it yourself, bitch. We're the Guardians of the Galaxy. And then he just
yeah.
What a movie. I live for that. When I ever feel down, I just watch that scene again and I'm like, yeah. It's so good because these are just outcasts who never had anyone in their life. Anyone they did had, they lost, and they all finally come together and connect and work as a team, and it kills the bad guy.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good.
Then Yondu also conveniently shows up right then, and Quill pulls the switcheroo, and Gunn actually says, so when Quill says, Yondu, you know not to open that, right? Yondu like kind of gives a nod and like a subtle look, but like he knows that he pulled the switcheroo, but he doesn't want to kill Quill.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought that was kind of cool. If you look for it, you can see it. It's pretty cool. We get more foreshadowing about Quill's heritage with Sean Gunn saying it's good they didn't deliver him to the dad.
Yeah. And we find out more of what that means in Guardians of the Galaxy too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said earlier, they set up the second movie so well.
Yeah, they did. And I mean, they planted hints for the third one too, with like the gold people or whatever.
Oh yeah, they set up so much. They answered a lot of questions in this movie, but then they also left a lot unanswered, which is amazing.
Yeah. Then we get a lot of wrap up stuff. They clear their criminal records.
Well, we also get like Drax consoling Rocket, which you brought before, and then we get into like them talking to Nova Prime, like Drax being like, "I gotta go after Thanos."
Yeah. Apparently, when they were walking out to the ship, that was a horrible day on set because they were in the middle of London on like a rooftop. It was a Sunday, and there were like church bells ringing like every 15 minutes. And the sun kept going in and out of clouds, so like it was horrible to get this like final thing. And then we get Quill opening up his package from his mom. He's more closure now. She recorded that voiceover of like her reading the letter in her voice, like in the back of a car with James Gunn.
Really?
Apparently. I don't know why they didn't go to like an actual studio, but
That's incredible. You have one of the biggest, probably now the biggest, multi-billion-dollar companies.
Yeah.
That give you tools to access, and you're like, we'll just do it in the back of an Uber.
in
Whatever.
their car. And his mom gave him the name Star-Lord. Aww.
Aww.
We get Awesome Mix Volume 2.
Which has some absolute bangers, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, there's a lot of bangers.
Yeah,
in there.
we'll get there. And then we get
Xandar vaulting the Power Stone. We get
Quill and Gamora kind of like subtly dancing.
Yeah.
Swaying, I guess more. We get Infant Groot again.
Yes.
That was designed after the production actually wrapped.
I wanted to ask you guys about this, right? 'Cause
Okay.
there's like a billion sticks there, right? Do you think all those sticks turned into like little
Just
Groots?
well, maybe because they didn't like nourish it.
I was wondering that too.
Like maybe if he planted all of them, they may have. But also, I think Gunn did confirm. He said that when like Groot's like prepping like in the montage to get ready, and like he like spikes out all of his like sticks, and then like he plucks like a leaf. That's like a seedling, and he said that those seedlings are what create the new Groot. So I think it had to have had a seedling on it
Okay.
for it to work.
So I was like, could the Guardians of the Galaxy just
make an army of Groots. We are
Just imagine in Endgame, Captain America's just like Avengers, and you see like the wizards, the Wakandans, all the great people, and then you just see Groot.
Do you think Groot's name is Tree because Thor speaks Groot and calls him Tree?
Huh.
What does he call Rocket?
Rabbit.
Yeah, he's just. I think it's one of those things, right? Like he thinks he's identifying it as something, but then he just does it.
Maybe.
Like he's trying to mimic Stark in a way.
Also, apparently, like Baby Groot wasn't really supposed to be in Guardians 2, but the fans loved him so much that they made him in it.
Oh, he's great in Guardians too.
Yeah.
He's fantastic. I still prefer good old adult Groot.
Yeah, me too.
I hope they go back to adult Groot. I don't like teen Groot. I really don't.
I didn't really either. I love though. There's one shot when he cuts off his arm to make Thor's hammer that it sounds like the Lego Yoda death scream from the video game.
You're kidding me.
No, we've gone over this.
I will show you it after this, but it actually is. I've played it back to back and then compared it to and showed it to my roommates and they agree.
I'm looking it up now.
All right. While you're doing that, so we get the post credits again. We get Howard the Duck, Cosmo the dog again.
Yep.
He's also in Endgame. Howard the Duck's voiced by Seth Green.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that's Seth Green. That's awesome.
Also, Gunn thanked a ton of people during the credits, which was nice. He asked, "Do I keep talking now after this part?"
Seth Green, also in another Gunn movie.
Oh yeah.
He was in Scooby-Doo 2.
Oh, what was he in Scooby-Doo 2?
He was the character Patrick. It was like the apprentice and the main villain. I don't really remember Scooby-Doo 2. I just remember Seth Green's in it.
Yeah. But I have a couple of last minute things. So Gunn shouted out people of the future watching this director's commentary, which technically was us, but he said, "Hello and hope you enjoyed listening on your brain devices." I was like, what a guy.
What a king.
Also, at the very end of the credits, there was a message that said no raccoons or tree creatures were harmed during the making of this film.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But what about actual trees, though?
Shoot. I feel like with all the construction, there were probably a lot of
There's
trees.
definitely a lot of metal that was hurt in the process. I mean, they had to freaking buy a bunch of it, forge it, and then resell it. Like that's not treating your metal nicely.
Yeah.
Exactly. What jerks. Also, real quick, I did listen to the Groot cutting his arm off. It does sound like a pitched up Lego Star Wars Death Yoda sound.
Yeah.
The more you know.
Bum, 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 bum. I feel like this film can be boiled down to this shouldn't have worked, but it did really well. Like very well.
Yeah, honestly, you're kind of right.
I feel like this broke the Marvel mold for the better. Like I feel like Marvel was kind of
definitely
settling. I mean, not with Cap 2, but the couple films before that was kind of settling. And I feel like Cap 2 and this really helped Marvel get ahead again.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like this kind of, because one thing I was talking about with my friends, like at the time of the movie coming out, is we used to watch this one YouTube channel, pretty much it. They're still active now, but it's changed drastically about their content.
Yeah.
And one thing they always made a joke about was how so many films coming out were dark and gritty. You know, like Man of Steel is just so unsaturated and everything. Well, like Marvel films aren't necessarily dark and gritty, but like the kind of the theme and tone of the films are. Like Thor, the Dark World, quite literally as dark in the title, but like Guardians of the Galaxy was a great change of pace.
I agree.
Which is now why I think people are so excited for the Batman coming out, because that's going back to the dark and gritty formula. Right. Now it's felt so bright, light, and right now.
I do have a couple last minute trivia things that I did research on. So apparently James Gunn gave out Play-Doh on set when someone did, like cast or crew did a phenomenal job. He said that he loves the smell of a newly opened Play-Doh container because it brings you back to your childhood and like encourages you to be like creative like those days. And he gave out approximately 40 containers.
Jeez.
My God.
Also, Dave Bautista gave Zoe Saldana and Chris Pratt custom WWE championship belts. And then James Gunn gave Bautista a vintage lunchbox because apparently Dave Bautista collects them. Yeah.
For Guardians 2, they had a "Do You Know Your Guardian" thing on Jimmy Kimmel or something, and it was who collects vintage lunchboxes, and it was Bautista.
Yeah. Also, so Gamora is obviously like known for like not dancing, but Zoe Saldana is a professionally trained like ballet dancer.
Really? That's hilarious.
And finally, my last fact, in Dutch, Groot means big, so he's saying I am big.
Nice.
That's what I had for Guardians of the Galaxy. Did anyone else have any other last minute thoughts on Guardians?
I like space.
Yeah, space is cool.
Space. All
we
right.
stand space. I can't wait for Guardians 3. Wahoo.
Yeah, Guardians 3 is going to be good.
I'm so excited for that. All right, but I do want to do some patron shout-outs really quick.
Yeah.
So cue the Star Wars music. Boosh. All right, we've got Patron Evan, Patron Lloyd, Patron Tony, Patron Frank, Patron Rick. Thank you for pledging the tier. It gives you these shout-outs. We really appreciate it. If you want to check out the Patreon, links in the description. I also wanted to read a review that my grandfather texted me because he enjoyed the last episode. It was the one, so you remember how we had all those cap puns?
Yes, I do.
My God.
All right. So this is the review he said. I said, I just listened to your captivating Captain America podcast and I felt I needed to capitalize on the opportunity for feedback. I believe it was the capstone podcast to date. It was so good, my capillaries were filled to capacity. Grandma had to give me an aspirin capsule with a cappuccino chaser to calm me down. Great job. Love you, Pat. So thank you, Pat.
Hope your capillaries are doing okay.
Huge shout out to your grandfather for doing that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was incredible.
Yeah.
Oh,
So leave us a review and we'll like you. All right. Finally, please follow our social medias. We don't plug that too often. For Instagram, it's whatever we want pod, and Twitter, it's what we want _pod. Links in the description, everything. And finally, Pat.
Hi.
What would you like to plug?
I would like to plug my Twitch channel, Rad Catholic Dad. Come on by. I play video games right now. I'm doing a Nuzlocke run of Pokemon Sapphire. It's pretty fun. I also have a YouTube channel called Part Trick. I don't know if it comes up whenever you search it, but we'll see if it comes up. I have some great videos down the line that I'm excited for. Some great projects coming out. So yeah, I hope you guys can stay in touch with me through there.
Yeah, I highly recommend you check your stuff out. Links will be in the description, everything. Pat worked with Daniel and I a lot on the Blue Butter Bagel stuff. If you haven't checked that out, it's pretty funny. He's a funny guy, so definitely show him the love and support. Really appreciate it.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Also,
I'm flattered.
Also.
Yes.
I'm going to plug myself.
Yes. Oh, Daniel. Yeah. All right.
Because I also just started my own personal Patreon and YouTube up again for my own art stuff. Patreon would be Patreon at Daniel Cardona Art. I'm also on social media as well, so feel free to go check that out.
Yeah, definitely. Everyone's doing some creative stuff. If you're bored because you can't go outside comfortably, then check it out. Why not,
Nice.
All right. Anything else anyone wanted to talk about today for this episode?
There is one thing I had written down that I totally forgot to mention whenever we got to that bit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, whenever Star-Lord's getting back his, his Walkman.
Walkman, yeah.
And he's just beating the hell out of all these guys, and the one guy lands, he goes, my neck!
Oh, yeah.
I was, in tears laughing, because it reminded me of the my leg guy from
My leg!
SpongeBob.
Oh, my God.
That line is delivered so well, the my neck guy.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought that was funny, and I wanted to mention that.
That's so good. All right. If that is it, then Daniel, please take us home.
We just talked about whatever we wanted to talk about, and now we're done. Blank.
Thank you, everyone, for listening. See you next time for, I believe it's Avengers Age of Ultron. It's going to be good. Leave reviews. Follow social medias, all that stuff. Jazz. Goodbye.
Farewell.
See ya.